Just kidding.
And we're live. Actually,
Oh, we're live now?
Yep.
Did you hit the wrong button?
Yep.
Did you accidentally turn on Smurfs again?
No, I fat fingered two buttons at the same time. We're good. All right.
No.
What's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining us. I can't talk today, apparently. Very excited to have Jimmy on. And Dan, thank you for joining us again.
This is great.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Dan, were you absent last week or something?
No,
No, just every
he
week's
just likes to
a
pick
toss-up.
on me. They'd pick on me.
Physically, he was here,
Mentally,
you know,
spiritually.
actually providing value.
That's accurate. That's accurate.
So how you guys said you guys started this right after Workbench Con, which coming up on be 2 years ago, February.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Yeah,
you guys all have YouTube channels and Instagrams.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who's got the oldest YouTube channel of you three?
Probably
Dan.
Dan.
Me.
How old is that?
Couple years. I don't know. I don't pay it a whole lot of attention.
Right.
It's only got like 11 videos.
Dan blew up really early on and got monetized and everything. And he's just been coasting on the fame.
I had a video go
I just coasted.
viral, and then I just coasted. I'm like, ooh, I'm getting tens of dollars a month.
I was gonna say you're getting like 25 bucks a month. That's awesome. I remember those days.
Pays the cable bill, right?
Yeah, when I had like, I want to say sub 500 followers, I had a video do $500,000.
That's great.
And I got monetized like right away. So I was like, oh, this is pretty
That's
nice.
awesome.
That's the one thing I love about YouTube. I say it all the time is that anybody could do this.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be. And I don't mean anybody has to be skilled. I mean anybody could do this. It's literally. I mean, obviously, there's people that have billions of followers, way more than me, that don't do anything like we all do. It's just it's completely open platform. You just
I want to start an unboxing.
You just have to
start an
have the willingness
unboxing
to share. But go ahead.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I was going to say I want to start a tool unboxing channel and just get company to send me tools so I can unbox them and then give them away.
Yeah.
You think that'd be a thing?
Why not?
Just sell them. Don't give them away.
You got to take a new angle though. You got to do it topless or something.
Yes.
Where your head's at, Jimmy.
Just bottomless, but you only record chest up anyways. So like,
That's exactly.
but the premise is you're bottomless. Well, I mean, it's only up until like recently that I accepted that like people have multiple channels. There's people that'll have they'll have the vlog, they'll have the regular channel, then they'll have the Spagnola's got the barbecue channel or whatever.
Oh, he does. I still only have one channel. Even Bob and Dave both have two.
Seems
channels.
like a lot of work.
It
And
does
does
Matthias
seem
has
like a
two
lot.
channels. I still only have one channel.
Don't Evan
That's
and
the
Caitlin
way to
have
do it.
multiple channels as well, don't
They've
they?
got like
They got
4
like
or
a
5 at this
gaming
point.
channel.
They have a gaming uncut, maker, and
reals.
then like
Yeah. There's
podcast.
Paco.
That's what it is. Yeah.
The first person I saw that had like 18 channels, and he made everything a different color, so he expected us to understand what he was doing, was John Hayes, who I love.
Yes.
But John Hayes
that's
has
right.
got, the wood bin. He's got the complaining channel. He's got the channel where he makes everything out of plywood. He's got the channel where he talks about heavy metal.
That's very diverse.
No, I love John Hayes, and I wish that he just put everything on one channel. I mean, I
Right.
know, but he's always trying to hack the algorithm, so that's why he's always trying to do something new.
I
gave
like his
up.
complaining channel, actually.
I love the one when him and Matthias, like the
Yes.
two old men in the Muppets, like they're perfect to keep going. I really miss the two of them coming up with new current events to complain about.
Has Matthias put anything out lately?
Yeah, he's
I
been
haven't
putting
seen
out-
anything in
yeah.
a while.
Yeah.
No, he's
Okay, maybe
putting
I
out
haven't been
videos
looking.
recently.
I mean, he
Okay.
obviously got
That's the
married and
problem.
had kids in the last 6 or 7 years, so he's slowed down a little bit, but he still posts regularly, and he just rebuilt a new bandsaw, I think, in the last year. And
I think I did see that. Okay. Yes.
and
He was working on a shed most recently, I think, over a creek or something like that. Yeah.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Just
been my
doing
big
whatever.
inspiration. When I think about like why I'm on YouTube, I blame Matthias.
How long has it been for
Yeah.
you?
Me, I'm going on like 9.5 years.
Wow.
Dang.
Here are 2 movies matching Mighty Men.
Actually, yeah, like
What?
I think I gotta
Watch
go
went
look.
crazy. Sorry.
Gotta go look and see. While we're on the phone, I could look. I posted one of my first videos. It might have been 11 or it might have been 12. So it might be 9 years or 12 years.
I wonder if it shows-
9 years or 10 years, rather. I'm gonna look right now.
Oh,
Oh,
it
now you
says
got me wondering.
joined March 10th, 2006.
But then there's a couple of old videos, and then a couple of like videos that are connected to the last, my last consistent. So let me see.
Where do you see that joined information?
It's under about.
It's under about.
Yeah. A boot if you're Canadian.
A boot.
A boot.
So my oldest to my newest.
Pete, look up mine. I don't know when mine was.
Oh yeah. So my Diresta key clip was the first video I put up, and I said I'm going to. It says 10 years ago. So that was when was that posted? October of 28. October 28th. Oh my God.
Oh,
What?
This is my 10th anniversary with you guys.
no, wait. A
This
perfect
is
way to
amazing.
celebrate.
We planned it.
Oh, that's so
I
great.
swear
How
to God,
disappointing.
I had no idea.
Celebrating 10 years of YouTube on another Woodshop podcast.
Should be at a restaurant.
There's the show title.
I am not even joking, guys. I had no
That's
idea
awesome.
it
That's
was
wild.
October 28th. I knew it was going into the fall of 2011. It was exactly 10 years ago today that I posted my first video of me making a little key clip.
That's awesome.
And it was right after the summer, going that like from March, April, May, June, we shot a television show called Dirty Money in my basement in my workshop in City.
Yep.
And then like that summer, I was all frustrated because the show aired, and then that was the end of it. And then the TV network, which was Discovery Channel, had no intentions of putting new episodes up, even though the show was breaking really good ratings. It was everybody on the show said, "There's no way with these ratings you're not going to get a reorder," but they just completely dropped us with no explanation. So out of frustration, I started playing around on YouTube, and that was exactly 10 years ago today. Wow.
Is that the show you did with your brother?
I did 4 shows with John. That was the one we did
Okay.
with my brother and his son. That was the only one we ever did as a trio in my New York City shop basement. We did like where we pick garbage and make it into stuff. But at that show, we pitched that show just as kind of a joke because my brother was an active stand-up comedian and I was an active interior fabricator. I did a lot of work for interior designers and whatever else came along. I did a lot of restaurant and commercial stuff. And when we were able to sell that show, which I had actually conceived of years before, but we were able to sell it finally at that time, we were down the rabbit hole of several meetings and several hurdles, and it looked like we were definitely going to have the deal. And the producer who was representing us from the production company kind of whispered to us, he's like, "Look, I kind of let them believe that this is really your business, so just don't talk about all your other stuff." I'm like, "Oh, really?" Like I'm a teacher at a college. I don't want them to think I'm just only a garbage picker. He's like, "Well, let's just season 2.
This is selling really hot right now, so just stick to that.
Season 2, you could do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. But let's just get season 1 in the can. And let's just play this charade for a minute." I'm like, "All right, I guess." And then I never really, he kind of shielded us from speaking to the network people anyway. We never really spoke to them.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, that show came and went, and that's why I did YouTube. So I blame it on net. I did my first. Were either of you guys at the first Workbench Con?
No.
They were. I was
I
not.
wouldn't know.
No.
No, we weren't.
Oh, at the first.
we were
one.
at the second.
Second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at that first Workbench Con, I did my little lecture that Kristen asked me to do something. I can't remember exactly what I talked about, but I thanked the Discovery Channel for firing me because it was
Well, now you're in full control. You don't have to rely on someone else's
Yeah.
BS to keep your stuff going.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, no, that's true.
Jimmy's
I mean,
World.
I have worked on a few TV shows in the last 10 years. Obviously, I'm on the show with Nick Offerman
Right.
and Amy Poehler called Making It. I'm in season 3.
course.
We just,
I just watched the finale today.
yeah, I'm
Love
sorry.
that show.
It's good. Was it good?
Yeah.
It's all right.
that's it.
I
No,
have
love the
questions.
contestants. I love the contestants. I mean, I love Amy and Nick, of course, and I love the production company. I love the experience, and the experience for me is a huge education as far as, real TV goes. And I couldn't be more grateful to be involved. I'm not a huge fan of the concept in general, just because it's not really like what our fans want to watch in general, like collectively, like majoritively
Yeah.
speaking. But, like I said, the contestants on the show have become some close friends of mine. They're all extremely, a close bunch, and I'm happy to be part of that. So
By the way,
just
I
was
have
talking
to-
Yeah,
Adam
it's more
King
geared-
the other day.
I have to ask because my wife wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Because Emma's a big fan of yours too. Anytime she's watching a show, she's like, "Jimmy."
Uh-huh.
But like, do you get to? First of all, do you get to pick the team that kind of help the helpers, or is it just
No,
people
not
that kinda
exactly.
get
It's
assigned?
really like I say, my position on that show is I'm there to help the contestants, but I'm really there more to help the producers. It's because they want everybody to make it to the finish line. They don't want anybody to come up empty-handed. Like that's not that kind of show. They want to have everybody to like everybody gets a participation trophy basically, but somebody does have to lose. But they want me to help anybody that needs help getting to the finish line. And
That's a pretty cool situation to be in, though.
Yeah.
no, it's great. Like I said, I'm so grateful.
Yeah, I
for
mean,
this.
you're like a teacher.
Yeah, and that's why when they first called me, they had this kind of like laid out game rules. It's like everybody gets a helper, and There's a whole team of helpers, and the producers do have to kind of clock hours, how many people. They try and keep it somewhat strict,
Yeah.
but like again, they want to make sure everybody makes it to the finish line. So if somebody needs extra special help, no one's complaining because it's a group of friends. No one's stepping on anybody's shoulders to win. Everybody wants everybody to make it to the end.
I love it.
So
That's cool.
occasionally, somebody needs extra help, but more often than not, they're really counting and making sure not everybody's taking advantage. Like they will literally say, "You've used too much. You're on your own for the next 5 hours." Challenge.
Lots of people in the comments right now are saying the show needs more Jimmy.
Yeah.
and
I appreciate
tend to
that. No, I
agree.
know. It's like I said, the show, and I have to explain this to my dad every season. I'm like, Dad, the show is not my show. It's not about me and Nick building canoes with no shirts on in the woods. It's
Speaking
about
of
Do it.
speaking of your dad, was he at Maker Camp? Was that him at Maker Camp?
that was my dad at Maker Camp. Yeah,
Oh,
he's
cool.
82 years old and he's slowing down pretty quickly.
It looked like he was having a good time. He was enjoying
he
it.
loves it. He loves it. Yeah, he
That's
kind of
awesome.
took a stumble and he got everybody scared because he tripped over.
Oh
his
no!
step. Yeah, but he's obviously he's fine. He's
Good.
82 years old. Yeah, he's going
Awesome.
strong. About 3 months ago, he cut the end of his thumb nearly completely off on a table saw.
Whew.
Still at it. I said, "Why didn't you use your push sticks?" He goes, "I don't know. They were sitting right there. I don't know what."
Doesn't he have a saw stop? Doesn't he?
He does have a saw stop, but he's afraid he's going to set the brake off, and then he's going to have to pay for a new brake. So,
So the thumb it is.
so the thumb it is. That's it.
That's hilarious.
He's like, "I didn't want to use it and ruin the brake." I'm like, "Okay, good. So you ruined your thumb instead."
Smart.
Yeah.
I just had
But
to.
no, the show is good. I'm there. So I was going to say at the beginning, they called me the master helper of all the helpers. I'm like in charge of all the helpers. I said, could you please just change my name to like the shop teacher? I don't want to be called the master helper. That's not really a title I'm proud of.
I think I remember you talking about that on
Yeah.
an episode of Making It,
Yeah.
your podcast.
Yes. Yeah. That's
Yes, and
confusing
if people in the live right now, if you don't know, check out Jimmy's got a podcast with Bob Claggett and Dave Picciuto over at Make Something. Go check out that podcast. It's fantastic. If it's not a staple for you, you need to make it one. It's been around for a very long time and it's a very good show.
But obviously, you're going to listen to it after you listen to ours. I mean,
Right. Check out another shop.
Actually, tomorrow is we published the latest episode, and we realized that Halloween is our anniversary.
oh,
So
cool.
we're just
So just
pouring
1 week
anniversaries over here.
anniversaries.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to make sure because we still can't remember precisely. I think it's 2014 is when we very first.
By the way, guys, we had
Right.
a stream hiccup, so I just refreshed the stream. We're back to live. We had like 10 seconds of us being off air.
Oh, no.
And then, Jimmy, who do the contestants get to keep the stuff they make, or is it?
No, because they don't really want to because they're all out of their element. They're all home, they're all away from home. And some of the stuff is giant. They do save everything. It's funny because occasionally when we're in a soundstage in Universal City, and it's like the size of an airplane hangar, and we have 2 of them. So it's like the size of 2 airplane hangars. And they pull everything out of storage. So when you walk through the set to go back to the lunchroom or the dressing room, there's all the old props. You see them. So they keep everything. They keep everything. The show keeps everything.
That's cool.
I'm looking here. So it was, to be clear, it was October 7th, 2014, when me, Bob, and Dave got together. We had never met. We talked on the phone. We'd only talked to each other through comments. And we talked on the phone for the first time, and we decided, well, if we do this podcast, what would it be around, and what would we call it? And you guys could see this. I think Bob or Dave might have posted this week. Can you see that? That is a
Yeah.
Hooters coffee
Yes.
cup and a Hooters
Show
napkin
notes.
because I was at a Hooters in Knoxville, Tennessee, driving home for a gig, and I stopped at Hooters. I was with my girlfriend. Me and Taylor stopped at Hooters. And we were writing down potential names for the show. We said, let's film one episode. We'll tape one episode. And if it's any good, we'll post it. If it stinks, we'll just forget we ever met. And now here it is. Halloween.
That sounds familiar.
That was our
Halloween is
mentality.
anniversary. Yeah.
Me and Dan were actually like we've followed each other, but we didn't know each
No,
other.
I don't think I followed you.
I don't think maybe we weren't even
No,
following. Like
I didn't
we
even
were
know
both
you
friends
were.
with Mike, and then we were like, let's do a call to figure things out, and that ended up being episode 0. We just ended up dropping
Yeah.
it. That was supposed to just be a let's rap session, and then we just clicked, which was great.
And who's in what city? Just tell me who's in what city.
I'm in Jersey. I'm in Andover, New Jersey. So I'm 2.5
Okay.
hours south of you.
Oh, right on. Who else?
I'm in Omaha, Nebraska.
No kidding. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm outside of Sacramento, California,
Right
on the way to
so
South Lake Tahoe. Yeah.
So you guys are quite diverse. Honestly, it's really cool getting to know, like, for lack of a better term, like the next class of like me, Bob, and Dave. I consider when I met you guys, and I really got to know you this week. I mean, we met before, but when we've actually talked this week, and you guys invited me here, it's really nice to see, like the next generation of, like what we do, and it's just going to keep happening. Like my brother's been a stand-up comedian for nearly 25 years, and he came up with like he was just after Louis C.K. and his whole crew of guys. Mm-hmm. And, like, so like there's generations of comedians. Like my brother was bouncing around with Mark Barrett and those guys. And I used to get to see those guys live when they were, before they had any like TV credits. So it was interesting. And,
it's like the next class, like in school, like high school stuff.
Kind of, yeah. That's why I wanted
to
see who has the oldest YouTube channel. And, you said 2 years. And, and what's great is that, you guys are all, and I hope this doesn't come off as arrogant, but you guys are all equally a part of the maker community as anybody that joins at any given time,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I love about this community. It's just like anybody that
it's the best community.
It really is.
Everything about it. It's really like, go ahead, Dan. Sorry.
I've been a photographer since 2009. I've been doing this. I've been a self-employed photographer since 2011, and I've been a part of the photographer community and the maker and the woodworking community. By far,
the best.
Way better. Yeah. It's so more welcoming and helping, and it's just so much better. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's so wholesome too. It just they don't have time for anyone being fake or rude or whatever. It's all about helping, sharing knowledge. I love it. It's great.
And that's exactly, like I always say, my only regret is not finding this community 10 years sooner. I mean, I found this community when I was 43. I'm 54 now, So
I'm
40.
I was in distribution for my whole life, like as my career was distribution. And then I got into, woodworking in a roundabout way, kind of on a lark. And then I was like, I'm just going to put it on social media and just share like my learning progress. And then I got, inducted into the community, and it's just like, it's like the community part of it has been a very large driving factor of me making it. I mean, I do it for a full time now. I'm a full-time furniture maker, and it's without the community, I don't know how quickly that would have happened, or even if that would have happened, which is wild.
That's true. Like if you're just out there slinging it on your own without any advice or anybody to bounce ideas off of, or just emotional support is like a group of friends.
Yeah.
Right.
And these guys are my emotional support, like every day.
We've become like best friends.
I think I talk to them more than anyone else.
Well,
yeah, I met Derek from Malden at Making It 100. He needed to get into the show, and we had only like Eventbrite tickets. We weren't charging, but it was just a matter of like making sure the head count was up. They knew how many people were coming into the venue that we had it at, and apparently it was like the tickets were all taken up. And Derek texted me. He's like, "Hey, can you get me in the show?" And I just said, "Just tell the woman at the door you're my cousin." I forget what I said. And then 10 minutes later, he's inside. He's like, "Hey, I'm Derek. Nice to meet you." And we
nailed that impression.
And we had a very emotional heart to heart. He shared with me that he doesn't talk about this too much, and I hope he doesn't mind that I do. He said that he was very impressed with me that I'm going to scratch my back with a big blacksmith spike while you guys talk.
But that seems very Diresta. I like it.
I like my downstairs.
Derek talked with me about how I shared
other pants,
how I shared that I don't drink and that I'm not a drug user anymore and any of that stuff, and how that's helped me. And Derek said it was nice. It was refreshing to hear somebody talk about the struggles that most of the average people can have. And so Derek, that was one of the first few things he said to me. And besides that, he was a good guy, and now he's one of my closest friends. So.
Mike talks to Derek a lot, I believe, right?
Yeah, I talked to Derek a lot on IG, and we got to talking.
We had a good conversation with
Maker
him.
Camp.
Yeah,
he's great. That guy's fantastic. Like I really like that guy. I don't know how he's not like ginormous. He's just super great guy.
He's such a social butterfly. He loves chatting.
With people. He's a great dude.
I mean, you seem to attract a really good crew of people, like everyone.
Oh, thank you.
That you hang out with, and like and the show that you did, which can you talk? Well, we'll save that for the show. We'll actually talk about the show.
We can talk about it. Yeah, I can give away some of it. Did any of you three guys ever communicate with my assistant Aaron over the year?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They did.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
We did our like Saturday stoops, which was started by Adrian, who's in a chat right now. So
great.
She started she called it a stoop. It's just makers hanging out on a stoop and like talking, whatever.
Yeah.
We did it over Zoom. It was great. And Aaron was a genuine soul. I mean, like,
Yeah.
awesome
Good.
dude.
I'm glad.
Super,
'Cause,
super huge loss.
He wasn't secretive, but he never wanted to like bug me with shit. So like the fact that he was getting woven into the community in that way and many other ways, and it seemed like he really took off and made lots of friendships when Clubhouse came out. You know, when Clubhouse became a thing, he made a lot of friendships.
That's how we
through
initially
Clubhouse.
all met.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's
what
how
it
the
seemed
Stoop
like
started, didn't it?
Yeah, basically.
he used to have to like, he goes, I left my phone home. I can't be on Clubhouse anymore. He's like, he would get so obsessed with it. But like I said, I knew that he was making some solid friendships throughout that. And, you know, I was grateful for that. You know, I don't want to assume the role of his, you know, of his caregiver, but I was always a little worried about him, you know, because he never explicitly said this, but I could tell he was lonely. And, you know, him leaving San Francisco and coming to New York with just his cousins and me. And, you know, he never wanted to be a burden. Like he never wanted to be like the guy that like looks to me for
Under your wing.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, and I wanted him to make sure that the trip that he took and the leap of faith he took was worth his while. So, you know, I always tried my best to make sure he was having a pleasant time. And like I said, the more I got to realize he was making friends with new people, I was really happy.
Yeah, he definitely found a community here
Yeah.
on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's great. So
That's awesome. Yeah, you really do seem to attract a lot of good people up there. Anytime like I see you sharing stories of all these, I'm learning about new like metalworkers and woodworkers every time I see your stories, because like different people coming through your shop and your new space and everything. So that's pretty cool.
No, this place, you know, I bought this house 16 years ago. You know, a lot of people have this misconception that I bought this house from my YouTube fame and that I got my young girlfriend from my YouTube fame, but I was lucky enough to collect both of those things without any YouTube fame. Just my pure charm and hard work. So Taylor and I have been together for 12 years, and I've owned this house for 16. And this house was something very special about it from the beginning. And like I had amazing groups of friends up here, you know, prior to the maker community becoming part of my life. And we just had some wonderful times. And then since the maker community has come into our lives, it was Taylor's initial idea to start doing the events here at the house. And then
and every time you post something about events at your house, I have the worst case of FOMO. Like it looks so fun.
Well, going forward, we're going to try and do them at the Blackthorn. That's what we're going to try and do. So there's more space, and the catering is a little bit more well handled, and not everybody's waiting in line to take a shower because I have 2 shitty showers.
That was a pretty cool venue.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. I mean, what a fantastic get together that was. That was so great.
So much fun.
I needed that so bad.
Oh, good. I'm really glad you guys enjoyed it. It's
yes.
And this isn't a secret, and this isn't something I didn't already discuss with Austin, so I'm not embarrassed to say this. I said, Austin, the fact that some of the rooms are so shitty is a great bonding experience because everybody hangs out and talk. If the rooms are all perfect, you know, you might say, oh, that's great. What do you want to talk about? But now it's like, yo, your room didn't have a shower head. My room didn't have a fitted sheet. You know, like it's.
We heard some stories. We heard some. We were already talking about how next year, if we go, we might get an Airbnb.
or like a Winnebago.
We're gonna get a Winnebago. Yeah, we'll get a big old Winnebago.
I'll pull my camper out or something.
That's fun. Yeah,
you should pull your camper out. That'd be great. Yeah.
That's great. We could have a
16
party.
hours, you could do it.
Well, you know what's cool? I hope this turns into, and it is a little bit. It's in its infancy of like a Burning Man, where different camps. Like, you know, if you guys bring your Winnebago, you'll be like the CNC Winnebago or like the CNC camp. If you go to Burning Man, which I went to in '99, and the only time I've been there, you have like Pegasus Camp, and you have Panties Camp, and you have like these camps become famous because of the little parties they throw throughout the weekend.
We're definitely Panties Camp. 100%.
Yeah.
But that's so cool. I love it. And I love that people camped out.
Happens.
Like, that was the cool thing about it, too. That you could just drop a
Yeah,
tent
like
and camp out.
Adrian just had a tent, and so did somebody else. I can't remember. I think maybe Justin from Campfire.
Yep.
Campfire did. Yeah, he had his tent above his car.
Top of his car tent. So he was
cool.
rolling in style.
Yeah.
So
it's
Maker
super
Camp
awesome.
was fun. And you know, like we had a little COVID scare there for a minute. We thought everybody was going to go home with their own present, but apparently it wasn't as big as we all got nervous about. You know,
I did get herpes, but I'm not saying it's from Maker Camp.
Okay, good. That's from the herpes breakout of 1980. It still hasn't gone away.
The panty party.
I mean, I was saying this on our. What's funny is we recorded the podcast and I said this, and then the next day we found out about the COVID scare. and I said, I missed shaking hands and just hugging these people that I've never met in my life. I talk to daily, but I've never met in my life.
Right.
I was just like, Justin, hug. Like, Paul, hug. Just everyone was getting a hug. And I was like so happy to see everyone. Everyone was so friendly. And I didn't realize how much I missed shaking hands and like giving someone a
so
hug
sweet.
and like really meeting these people. And the nice thing is like everyone's as nice as they are on the internet. It's not like the
We were
creepy
we were
internet
talking
vibes.
about how we hadn't gone to anything since Workbench Con 2020, and then COVID hit and everything got shut down. We did our podcast. We did a maker meetup kind of in the middle of COVID. And what was that?
Super smart.
End of 2020?
It was, I think it was
but I mean,
August.
it was handled. It was handled well, but there was like 140
warehouse.
people there for the podcast maker meetup in a big warehouse and
Oh
outdoor.
wow!
and
What,
stuff,
what
so it was
episode
fun.
did you do that in?
Oh gosh.
Oh geez,
That
that's
was
a good
literally
question
a
if you
year
go back,
ago
but-
now. But the thing was, we were. This is how intense things still were. We were in a warehouse. We're all standing in a giant circle, talking to each other. So like,
Yeah,
literally
away
6
from
feet
each other
apart,
with masks on.
like, hey, yeah, like I'm just talking. It was so weird. And now
It was a weird meetup for sure.
but it was so much fun. And
But
we
we
did one in
hadn't-
Nebraska too.
We hadn't
That's great.
we hadn't been able to do anything for so long, and then I was trying to go to AWFS, and then we got in the middle of buying our place here. I was looking forward to Maker Camp so bad, and Workbench Con is so pricey. I mean, we're all going to that. And I can't wait to go to Workbench Con. That's going to be amazing. But like, just being able to be around people that are chasing the same passion, it's just so great.
Yeah.
It's just the best. Like, it was such a great weekend.
What was super cool was we have been going to each other's places just to hang out and get to know their shop and everything. And like when Pete got a new place, we were planning on going out to his house. And then like after we booked our trip, we'd found out that Maker Camp was happening. So it just like lined up perfectly. We were already going to be
good.
2 hours away, and we're like, the heck with it. We're going to Maker
Let's do
Camp.
it.
Oh, fantastic!
So we
That's
just
great.
drove up that
Yeah, it worked
morning
out
and came
perfect.
back. And I'm not kissing ass saying this because it's so
Oh, yeah.
genuine. I was, first of all, I was not expecting to have that much fun.
Great.
I was expecting it to be a lot more like what I heard about WorkbenchCon, which is like, oh, you talk to brands and you market, whatever. Like, no, it was just a hangout.
is-
Everyone was camping. It was probably the most fun event I've had in a long time because of how loosey-goosey everything was.
Yeah,
and
that's what we like about it.
What brands were there were very chill and very cool, and it was so fun.
I mean, the Total Boat tent gave us beers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were drinking beers out of Total Boat cups.
Yeah, we
I think everybody's forced to just jump in and just like I said, it's partly because it's not easy to get to. It's a pain in the ass to navigate. You're not sure what the hell you're jumping into. When you realize you get to the pavilion, you start seeing familiar faces. You're like, oh shit, I found the right spot. And again, the rooms are a little wonky donkey, so that gives everybody something to talk about. And they're like, what is this? It's a fucking peacock in a cage. Like, what?
We knew we had the right spot when Paul Jackman tried to run us off the road when we
Right.
were walking
Literally,
up
we
the
just get out of the
gravel
car, and Paul and Pat just try to take us out.
like a ridge line coming right at us.
It's like we've made it. Paul Jackman's trying to kill us.
That's great. That's great. Now it's I me and Austin have been talking about all the improvements we want to make next year, and it's going to be great. We're going to introduce pottery.
Oh, that's
And,
awesome. Fun.
And we were already talking to and all the brands are having major FOMO too. The various brands are like, hey, I want to come next year. What do you want us to do?
Yeah,
Like, it's not even like, I not, the money is all between Austin and his family. I don't know how much they charge his people, or, I know in some cases Austin's willing to be like, hey, leave your machine here. You can come hang out. It's not, so strict in that regard. It's like, it's like having the convenience of, and even it's funny. I said to Austin, I'm like, the first year they put the fence up because they're used to doing these things where you're going to kind of have to show a certain color band to have certain access and stuff. They do these type of events all the time, and they never put the fence up. And I said, how come you never put the fence up? He goes, we sold so much stuff online. I didn't want to have to sit here and, keep a staff busy checking people's bands. He goes, we made our money, which is very admirable.
That's
of him
cool.
to not keep milking the audience that shows up,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. I noticed they gave us a band, but nobody ever really checked it.
Loosey goosey. Yeah.
And I
The
think
one-
only until we had dinner. And
I was
then
going to
they're
say the food people are usually really strict with the rubber with the wristbands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I heard the first night was a bit of a toss up. There was a lot of free meals that night.
Yeah, super good time. Mike, you want to start pre-listening to some questions, or?
Yeah, let's go through some questions here. We'll see what we got, and then we'll see what we come up with here.
Yeah.
Who's Adam?
Don't embarrass the boys. Don't embarrass the boys. Don't ask stupid questions. All right, hit record. Hey guys, Adam here from Barnett Custom Woodworks. So Jimmy, I kind of have a two-parter question. The first part is, what is your favorite medium to work with?
Right.
And branching off of that, I myself started a wood shop in my garage 2 years ago, but my day job for the last 20 years has been metalwork and fabrication, welding, stuff like that. I want to bring a little bit of that home and start fabricating my own table legs and this and that, but I've watched a ton of your videos and it seems like you just throw the welder on the shop table and weld away in the wood shop. What would you recommend as far as the hazards and the safety precautions to take when trying to incorporate that metalwork into the wood shop?
I don't always show
your answers. Thanks, guys.
Oh yeah, okay. So I'm thinking I'm talking to somebody who's live.
No, these are all recorded.
And save
These
the
are all pre-recorded.
answers for
Save the
actual...
answer. We'll replay it again for the show, and then we can answer there. We just want to get it in our brains so we can have our answers
Okay,
ready.
cool.
'Cause
Yeah.
So just
we're not really quick, so.
and then
So, here's
filter
the-
out any of the crazy ones.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, we want to make sure because sometimes we'll get some crazy questions. We're like, we're not going to put that on the show.
Those are the ones I want. That's what I thrive on.
Okay.
Don't worry, there's some crazy in here. I
The
can
wacky-
We're going to have
guarantee
some
it.
very specific medical questions coming up. This is
Okay.
Dave, DIY Dave.
Hey guys, short time listener, first time caller. This is Alex from 3D DIY Dave. My question for
His
Jimmy
name
is
isn't
that
Alex.
you make all these projects you do look really easy, but has there ever been a time where a project was just so difficult that you remember that you had to kind of just call it quits, step away, or come back another time with a new solution? What was that project? Thanks so
There's
much.
a lot of them.
Baloy signing off.
Thanks, buddy.
You say Bow? Did he chime out as Bowloy?
I think he did. I think we need to explain this joke to Jimmy.
Yeah. Mike, do you want to explain it?
So, Dave, 3D DIY Dave, he's a great guy. So you know who Alex Fang is? Bevelish Creations.
I think I've heard that name. Yeah.
Well, anyway, he's
Start with
he's a
they're
guy in the
all
community.
Asian. That's the
Okay.
Right.
premise here.
He's Asian. So yeah, so Dave's Asian, Alex is Asian. Dave is he has a Shaper Origin, that handheld router CNC
Sure,
dealie.
of course.
You know, the Sean Chunkers. So and Alex Fang uses a software that I use called Shaper. They're both called Shaper.
Sure.
Well, I reached out to 3D DIY Dave, asking him questions about Shaper, the software. But he doesn't have that software. He's just Asian. So Dave and I have been friends for a while.
Yeah.
I got confused because he has a Shaper and then the software is Shaper. Anyway, I confused him with another. It was a really, really unfortunate, honest mistake. But we were at Maker Camp and Dave was there at Maker Camp, and KJ Sawdust comes over and we're all talking, and KJ Sawdust thought Dave was another maker in the community who's Asian named Bao Loy. so KJ Sawdust called Dave, Bao. No, I said, "Oh, Bao, how you doing? Nice to meet you in person." It's not Bao, it's Dave. So Dave's had two people
Dave's a very good sport.
profile him, and he's a very good sport. So anyway,
Wow.
that's the joke
funny.
there. So now we're getting a lot of
Yeah.
flack.
And then we have
Mostly
another
me.
guy named Moses that called last week, and he what do he call himself? It was like a whole conglomeration of like the Asian guys.
Of all the
Every Asian maker in the community. It was fantastic. I feel terrible. I'm very sorry, Dave. I love you. And Alex. Alex is great too. Okay, so this next question's from Ed Cordona.
Hey guys, Ed from
He's
Oak
under
Ridge
a bridge.
Woodworks. Apologies if there's noise in the background as I'm still in New York City. This question is for Jimmy. Not sure if he owns a CNC or not, but I was curious on his thoughts on the growth of the use of CNCs and lasers in the maker community. And you know, I'm as you guys know, looking to buy one myself, ready to pull the trigger. So wonder if that still makes me a maker or am I a designer? Just curious on his thoughts. Thanks.
Everything.
Oh, good question.
You have a big shop bot, don't you, Jimmy?
I do. Yeah, I got a 5x10 shop bot, and I made a deal with them. I was shopping around, no pun intended. I was shopping around for various CNC companies, and George Von Druska, who you might have met at the CNC tent.
We did.
Yeah, George and I met in 2016 in Skiatook, Saskatoon. No, Skiatook,
bless you.
Oklahoma.
Are you
And,
just making up words now?
No, because Saskatoon is where Eric is, and Skiatook, Oklahoma is where we had this like big hoedown in June
Of course.
2016. Anyway, that's where I met George, and we were talking, and I said I want to find a good CNC machine that would be willing to like partner with me, and all I would want is to exchange it for exposure. Because for me, if I can get a machine from a company and they're like willing to like basically park it in my garage, they'll get exposure and I get to use the machine. So I feel it's a good symbiotic relationship. And
Absolutely.
and George connected me with ShopBot, and it's been really good. I got them on NBC, and they were on this new show that we just did for the big streaming.
Oh, that's right.
Network.
Yeah.
Yes.
When's
right.
that going to be coming out?
In network.
We had
that's
we
gonna
had
be
Paul
in the
on just before you guys were about to start recording that stuff. So
Yeah,
sorry,
we did. I
spoke
remember
over
that.
Almost a year ago as well. Wow.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, he alluded to something.
Yeah. Me, Paul. This is all
Graz.
on the social media. Me, Derek, Paul, Graz, and Pat Lapp are the 5 ensemble for a show that's coming out on a big streaming network.
Cool.
What can it be?
Very
we'll never
excited.
know.
Network
All
where you
right.
watch flicks.
If
You know,
my
it's a
if
network,
my
you watch
detective
movies and flicks,
if my detective skills are right, it's probably Hulu.
Yeah.
you're wrong.
All right. This
It's the
next
network
one is
where you
from
watch flicks
Oh, there it is.
Okay. Oh,
and
okay.
TV shows and stuff like that.
Peacock.
We'll never know. We'll never know what it is. It's one of those anime streaming networks.
For
I
some
know it.
strange
Oh, yes.
reason-
Jack.
For some strange reason, they want it to be secret. I don't know why.
Adrian says OnlyFans.
It's-
Okay, so this next one is Jack with Salish
You got it.
C Creations.
What's up, guys? It's Jack from Salish C Woodworks
Salish,
up here in
whoops.
Seattle, Washington. And I had a question about failures, particularly on social media, whether they're content creators, builders, makers. We often see folks' successes. We see those great projects, those home runs, and we don't often see folks' failures, mistakes, and setbacks. And I think how you respond to those failures can be really important to success and your future successes. So my question is, what's a major failure you've had in building your brand or your business? And what lessons did you learn? And how did you respond to that? That's been an important impact on your success and future successes. Thanks so much, and looking forward to hearing your answers.
Jack, I feel like
Jack.
you don't follow my Instagram at all. It's nothing but failures from top to bottom.
Daniel Dunlap Failworks.
This next question is from Jeff with Two Moose Design.
Oh, my man.
Oh, I know those guys.
Hey guys, my question
Jeff's
for
great.
Jimmy is, if you were to start your career all over again today, what would you do differently?
Probably learn math.
Good one, Jeff.
Was Jeff our first guest or was that Nick Key?
Jeff, I think was. Ooh, I don't know if it was Nick Key or Jeff. I'm not sure. I'll have to go
Yeah,
back.
Jeff's been on the
It's
show.
been
He's a good dude.
Early ones.
a while. Yeah,
I
he's
met
great.
those guys.
Love
I guess
Jeff.
at Workbench Con,
Yeah, they're super nice.
and they seem successful too. It seems like they do really well.
They're doing great. Lee Oman with Regal Street. Here's Lee's question.
Hey guys, it's Lee over at Regal Street. I had a quick question for Jimmy. In my shop, I have an old Craftsman bandsaw, nothing special, that was handed down to me from my parents. They've had it as long as I can remember. It's nothing special, like I said, but I don't think I'll ever get rid of it, even when I do end up getting something better. Because it means something to me, So Jimmy, do you have any tools that you've either bought, made, or inherited that means something to you? And what is that tool? All right, guys, have a great show. Thanks.
I jokingly said I told him to get rid of it, but now I feel bad that I said that. Hang it on the wall and get yourself a Delta Rockwell. But that's hang it on the wall, put it in a frame. Craftsman
Put it in a
makes
shadow box.
Craftsman makes the worst electric tools.
All right, this one is from Josh the Dad, JD.
Hello, gentlemen. It's Josh the Dad. Yep, Josh the Dad, one of the big IG, coming at you with a question. Finally, after so many weeks off, I've decided that while I don't have a lot of time to be on the IG, I can at least creep on the IG and I can think about the perfect question. And then you declared Mr. Diresta was going to be on the show, and I thought, I have a question for the common good of the community. I hope. So here it is. Mr. Diresta, when you go out and find old equipment and you're acquiring those pieces, do you have a good go-to location for information about that piece of equipment? Whether it be an old drill press or saw or anything. Is there a good place to go for manuals, parts lists, all that kind of stuff, just to help you get it back up and running? All right. Have a great week, guys.
Save the fire answers for
podcast.
later.
No, I got more than that answer. I'm joking. No, but Eric has always been a great resource for me and Andrew. He immediately comes back with information.
Killer
I've heard you mention his name several times on your podcast.
Hand Tool Rescue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great YouTube channel.
I do a podcast with Hand Tool Rescue.
Yeah, Fitzall.
Yeah, Fitzall.
Yeah, that's the Fitzall.
That's right.
Yeah. No, so it's fun. People don't realize they think I do like 18 podcasts because I'm a guest on so many. And some people don't even know that I even do one. And so I do an ongoing one with Bob and Dave, of course, making it, and then I do the Fitzall with Eric, Hand Tool Rescue, and Andrew Blacksmith Tools.
Is that a weekly show, the Fitzall?
Fitzall is like a whenever show. We've been at it for like 3 years. We got 30 episodes.
That's the podcast that made me think like, oh, I could restore tools, then I could like pick up old tools, and then I'd be like, it's missing so many parts.
That's fine. I always say get old tools that have all the parts, if you can. Or at least a part machine. You get two shitty ones. You can maybe make one good one.
Yeah, right.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So this next question is from a listener. She's friend of the show. Her name's Adrian, but she's also crazy. And she
about us.
Go ahead, Dan.
To define crazy, you may have seen somebody running around in a T-Rex outfit at Maker Camp.
Oh yeah, I just followed her today. Yeah. I knew that
this is her. This is the crazy.
She's cool.
She's very cool.
I was laughing so hard when she was running around in that T-Rex costume. And then later on, she's like, "That was me. I was the T-Rex." She was entertaining me.
She's funny for sure. We love her.
I just followed her today, I believe.
She calls in. She's got a character for the show you're going to meet right now.
Hi, Jimmy. This is Barbara from my Wood is Hard workshop. And hey, I got a hot question for you tonight. Who is the most talented Diresta in your family? Me personally, I really think it's your mother. But who do you think has the most talent? It's been great learning from you, buddy. Have a great one. Okay, bye.
I was really worried.
You're an idiot. I love you.
She texted me about this. She's like, I sent in a question for Jimmy. I was like, okay. She's like, I may have read it as Barbara, but it's clean. It's good. I'm like, oh God, no. And I listened to it. And I'm like, okay, good question. Proud of you.
Adrian's the reason we pre-listened to the questions.
That is accurate. That is accurate.
She kind of has thrown us for some loops sometimes.
There's been some
played
red
and we're like,
flags.
oh, stop. It's a little inappropriate for the people listening with their kids on the way to school. So anyway, she's great. We love Adrian very much. So thanks for the call, Adrian, and everyone who called in. So that's it for the call-ins. We got some write-ins. I don't know if we want to do.
We'll just read them live on the show.
Yeah, you know what's up.
Yeah, we'll read them. We'll read them here. So that's kind of really it for the pre-show. So do you guys want to call a little early and get a little intermission in before we start the thing, or do we want to keep going until 7?
I could use a little bathroom break.
Little pee-pee break?
Yeah, I know you're shocked. I'm shocked. We're all shocked.
What? Dan has to pee? That's
If we
crazy.
take 5, I'll go get a coffee.
Yeah.
Boom.
Take a quick break.
Yeah, let's call it. Let's call it. That was a great pre-show.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, Jimmy. That's awesome, man.
Oh,
yeah, we weren't expecting that, so that's.
But don't leave.
awesome.
We're not done. For everyone else, however, guys, thank you for joining us today. This is such a blast.
Yes.
I feel like we've been talking for hours. It's only been 45
Yeah, it's only been 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It feels like
In a
we've been
good
going
way.
for a while.
But stay tuned and tell all your friends about it because we're going to be dropping this next week as a video on YouTube. You can check it out. This is a good one. And then the pod is going to be live tomorrow for patrons.
Correction, Tim Lindell in the comments is correct. Jason Bent was our first guest.
Oh,
Oh, you're right, Jason Bentwitz.
I just gotta zone that one out.
Yeah, you know.
All right, guys, thank you for joining us. We'll see y'all next week. Love you all. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
Bye bye.
All right.